So yes, basically
How do you get?
the bid is happening now. And how do you get in? You
Pay
pig.
pig.
You throw your money at them.
Oink oink.
Oink oink, motherfucker. Yeah. It's here on the big money edition, the £75. That's probably what, like $150 now. I don't know. No, actually no pounds. $60. No, I think it's like 80, 85, 90. Something along those lines. I'm sure you can do the conversion. I'm sure it's on the store. I'm sure you've already paid for it. I'm sure you've already bought it because, of course, you don't only get your beta access.
Well, of course, we wouldn't be streaming to people who aren't true fans, Matt.
Of course, yes. And only, true fans give all of their money to their beloved corporation at all times.
And of course, because this is not included in the physical collector's edition, obviously true fans also do pre-order the digital collector's edition.
Yeah,
obviously.
Indeed. So here you've also got your beta access, of course. So that'll be you this week. I believe the blog post does say immediate access, so you'll be straight in there. You also get 1,000 traders tender.
Oh my.
And also 3-day early access to War Within, which is a trend that I really want to see shot into fucking space across all the video games.
Yeah, but your one did it.
What do you mean my one did it?
Your MMO.
I know.
Yeah.
It's endemic and I want it gone.
Well, I don't want
to
do it at the source.
A load of fucking shitty people turn around and be like, we can just add 20, 30 quid to the price of our game because people want it early because of reasons.
Matt calls Yoshi P a shitty person.
Everyone who makes decisions like that, fucking terrible. Anyway.
It's annoying. It sucks. It's there for everything now. Even like looking at Space Marine 2, which is coming out in September. It's doing quite a lot right. It actually turns out the World War Z people, they really seem to have ran a amazing value proposition game for like 4 years. But yeah, even that, like there's no cash shop in game. There's no premium currency. They are going to be doing content, post-launch. But yeah, there's no battle pass. Just a season pass thing. Kind of like, the old days. And it still has that.
Yeah.
Which shows that this works.
Yeah, it works perfectly fine.
It works well.
People aren't that mad about it. It's one of those things where, like, if I could go back in time and, kick whoever invented it in front of a bus, sure, right, absolutely. Not that I would ever do anything like that horribly. That's horrible. But, theoretically speaking.
It's okay. I don't think the feds can get you for temporal crimes.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I have seen the Minority Report and also all the other movies about temporal crimes. Like, was it Looper? Looper's going. I literally just,
there you go.
I was playing with you, going off little mind adventures. And I just started thinking about Looper. To be fair, it is Looper. So yeah, you can get your bid opt-in if you don't want to give them your $800 billion. You can instead just wait like the pleb you are, and probably not get in because everyone's just going to buy this. So they'll likely have beta full enough, which is kind of interesting.
And do you know who the director of Captain EO is?
Okay.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Fantastic. Wonderful. So with that another aside out of the way, you don't get bid access for the physical collector's edition.
Of course not.
Which is interesting.
Of course not, because Blizzard can't email you a code after you buy an edition on their digital store.
It's really terrible. How have we not solved this yet? How have we not solved you buy the thing and then we track that you buy the thing and we send you thing?
They ran out of credits in Zapier. That's clearly what happened. They can't afford it.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's extremely dumb.
Yeah.
Also, who knows? Like that's
very silly. Rep CS.
Yeah, that's
like,
CS,
great.
Who knows if that's true?
I have absolutely nothing I can do to make your situation better, dear customer.
Yeah, unfortunate.
So
what's testable? Basically all of the stuff that isn't the end game yet. That'll be a little bit later, I'm sure, because they'll want a whole new wave of people doing all of the thing to iron out all the bugs.
Yeah.
Because it was better than most alphas that I've played in WoW, which to be fair isn't that many over the last couple, but it definitely was like there were some progression stopping bugs that were really painful. Stuff like just, oh, sorry, your character's bricked. Good luck next time, which is a bit of a pain, but generally you'll be able to go through and do all the story, all the experience, everything like that. Now, I can't imagine they'll have any of the cutscenes or anything in Final, so like if you're doing this bit of testing, I would highly recommend you not to do much of the story if you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, just play class stuff. Don't play.
Yeah.
Like they're selling the beta thing as a feature. It will just genuinely make launch day worse for you, so don't. Like, we kind of take the hit. We take the hit, but don't go in as far as we do, because getting the proper sort of game launch experience, I think, is far more worthwhile than a little bit of fun now. Something, something, something. Good things to come to the... What? Good things come to those who wait. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost as if, like, people have sort of moved away from buying early access and playing betas for a good reason, maybe. I completely understand it, but don't do it unless you really, really, really want to. Unless you're, like, something invested in it, like you're a Mythic Raid or something. But if you're just, like, a casual player, just go away until it's out, basically, would be my recommendation. Just because... like, even seeing some of the story events in Ashkahet without, like, the full weight of the cinematics behind them, without the full weight of music and voice acting, is like, I would have loved this if I had seen it in the way it's supposed to be, but I've in fact seen it in a busted, half-assed version, so that's going to be my first impression of it forever.
The Mummy with only sound effects.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not quite like that, but...
Yeah.
It is.
Awful advice: do proper testing, give proper feedback, or don't play alphas, betas. It's not your responsibility to give feedback. You can choose to do so, or you can choose not to do so. Is it true that I could turn around and say, well, the game would be better if everyone gave feedback? Technically, but not all feedback is good feedback. There's a reason they run alphas with very little feedback, and
friction.
With invited people before. A lot of it is because they get people who play the game a shit ton, and they get very good feedback that they can work on. Especially this year, where they've had, or this time around, they've had excellent feedback on a lot of classes. Very, very, very thing. The point of a beta isn't to give feedback an awful lot of the time. Beta is it's kind of people paying to be QA testers on the larger front. It's a little bit of, you can get early access to this game, and it's in a substantially worse form than it's going to be live. You're trading off that for, like, basically I'm going to run into bugs. So it's a little bit like that. The data from playing is just full.
The point that my main drive behind this is the beta is being marketed as something for you to do, right? And it's being marketed with a sale. I would say that if you watch that trailer and you're excited about those characters and you see, pre-purchase to access beta, under no circuit, like, that means you shouldn't. Because if you're actually excited by those things, which are the narrative, you should wait and enjoy that properly when it's done. I think for this testing, there are those of us who are fundamentally interested in testing, who are interested in how the game grows and develops, and people who are interested in classes, who do a hell of a lot of testing. Because there can just be those weird esoteric times where a talent is bugged, and the maths just are not as intended. And it can take a long-ass time for that to be solved. That recently happened with Warlocks, and the Warlock bug existed, I think, since Shadowlands.
Sure did.
So
sure did.
So yeah, like that's the thing. I mean, I can understand. So there are lots of different types of testing that don't require feedback. So Blizzard, I would hope, gets a lot of telemetry while you're playing.
Yeah, of course.
And they can. So whenever you crash, the easy way to explain it is they would have everything that they need to, like, make a heat map of where in the world people crash and all the different reasons why they crash and all of those, all of those things. So there's that, and then the server side of stress testing. You don't need to leave feedback. All you need to be is just a body stressing the system. I think my main thing, though, and it's less applicable to something like this, it's more applicable to Endgame, is they just need more adversarial internal testing with the mob remix stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, because, like, with Alpha, there's been a lot of cases where, say, like, the feedback on classes and the feedback on hero talents has been very effective, but there's also stuff where, like, feedback on story it's far too late. Even as hit alpha, and there's a lot of things. They're mainly changed wording on, like, a couple bits of quest text.
Not if it's spoken.
Yes, I was going to say, but if they've recorded dialogue, there's a very little chance that gets solved because of the pipeline.
It's more than just that. It's more than just that. I mean, like, I've. And I know, and you know who they are. Even beyond that, people who have been launching games that are localized into multiple languages. So there's a lot of stuff there that people just don't know. Whereas, like, why do the developers not just, like, open the thing and change the text? Well, your problem there is you'll be working with ideally one localization partner to do all of the localization. So now you have got to get all of your batches of text over to them for localization. That's got to be like fully project managed. So the idea of like a just-in-time fix to dialogue, that's not happening. There are times where you'll find that the English version of a game on Steam might end up being like the best or the most, reflecting of the developer's vision, purely because they stuck fixes into their dialogue way after localization lock. Localization lock can be like 6 months before ship. It'll often be done in batches, and those batches have got a budget. So you'll have like a polish and fixing, localization budget. But those things are like a lot more fixed, I think, than people realize. World of Warcraft is also, it's translated into loads of languages, both text and voice. That's why like story feedback just can't be actioned on. It can be actioned on in the next patch or the patch after that or something.
If you're lucky.
Or they can hatchet something out. Patch 8.1. Remember all the Darkshore discourse? That was fun. And I think the things that were fixed there, I don't think they were spoken. They were all just text bubbles.
So stuff like that can be fixed, but like largely story direction is locked from well before we see it. And we're like, okay, well that's kind of it. So it is for game testing more than anything else, realistically. It's like, don't worry, AI Translate exists. Get the fuck out of here with that. Jesus wept. There is currently a plague of machine translations and AI translations across fan subbing and different like manga subbing stuff.
You're on the front line.
It is the fucking worst hellscape nightmare I've ever seen. Everywhere is flooded with low effort, low quality dog shit, and I can't wait for it to end. I can't wait for every single service. It's like, we have some AI. I hope there's fucking energy restrictions put on that shit immediately. Everyone gets shot for using it. Not literally. Yeah. I'm being hyperbolic because I'm personally affected.
And the fun thing is, not a single thing you said will ever matter.
I know.
On that. So,
absolute dog shit.
But by which I mean, that technology's here. It can't not be here. So, it exists. We ball. We have to do so. We have to operate in the world where it exists because it does exist. So then, how do you do that right? And I imagine there's a lot of machine translation stuff that, more advanced, like good LLM machine translation stuff that's probably good for first pass, good for bulk, certainly a lot better than Google Translate. But it has to be a tool used to to help the human not do the drudge.
Yeah, except for you look at how it's currently been used in like in translation stuff at the minute.
Surely Japanese is going to be especially challenging.
Yes, and also the companies are using it as a way to say, hey, well, AI will do 90% of the work, so we only need to pay you 10%, even though the work is unusable and we have to start from scratch. It's literally a way to go, fuck you, we're not paying you to do your job.
See now?
We've made your job harder. Some other things, but I don't want to end this. I'll talk about it all fucking day long.
They fucked it in the article space.
Yeah, it's profound. It's profoundly horrible. It's profoundly horrible, and actual human translators and localizers are getting fucking destroyed for it. As much as people may have disagreements with how they approach their job specifically, in the most cases they actually do a substantial amount of difficult work and do it quite well.
Well, yeah, FF14.
There are more examples of it being good than it being bad in most cases. I think localizers in general get a pretty bad rap for it.
A lot of people don't understand what a lot of people think it's translation, but it's not translation because you gotta like sell the meaning. So it's like there could be a script in Japanese and it's using like one of them famous proverbs they do over there, or it's some like colloquial thing. So the translation has then got to work out, okay, to a UK or American speaking audience who will not understand that whatsoever, what is their nearest equivalent that they will understand?
No, just do literal translation for everything, forehead.
I absolutely love it when stuff just comes straight from Japan through Google Translate.
It's so bad.
That's what everyone used to do at school. They'd go to Google Translate, they'd like put it into Japanese and then into like, Chinese simplified and then back into Japanese, and then And then suddenly it all just seems very profound
Yeah.
when it comes out the other end.
Indeed. Indeed.
So that's story feedback. That's why that's going to be really tricky.
Yeah, so that was us talking about beta and getting slightly one guy into oblivion. Thanks, chat. Thanks very much for that. To unlock the new fucking weakness. But yes.
Now,
so,
Oblivion. Oblivion is a game that might have been written by an AI.
Hey, possibly. That would
Not
be
really.
really funny.
I really hope Oblivion, like the remake. I hope that that's happening.
It has to be.
I kind of like
They won't have an Elder Scrolls game for 7,000 years. That'll be really
like it's the
something.
campiness that exists in Oblivion that like isn't there as much in Skyrim and the Dark
Yeah.
Brotherhood questline. So there you go, beta. We can all be betas together in 2 days.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
See
very
you there.
cool.